This is just a little recording to show the detailed and specific work that goes into restringing a piano. Obviously I'm not going to do the entire thing because I'm already about halfway through. But it occurred to me that, a lot of times when somebody thinks about replacing a string on the piano, they think it's like putting a new string on a guitar. And the very basic principle is similar, but there's a whole lot more to work with here. This particular piano came to me with a lot of animal urine kind of in it. Animals got into it, but it was otherwise in really good shape. The pin block was good, and the action was almost untouched. So it was being donated to the owner's church. So I essentially had to remove all of the strings and clean the plate. You can see where in here there were places that I had to scrub and take steel wool to get the rust off, and just had to touch it up with paint to protect the plate. Similarly, like all these metal bars here had to be taken out, these guys here, and polished up because those are counterbearing bars, and they need as little friction as possible. And of course all the strings had to be removed. All of this stuff had to be cleaned. All these little tuning pins had to be replaced. These A-grafts were completely mucked up, and they all had to be replaced, which is a major pain in the neck. And all the little hardwood bushings that go around the tuning pins had to be replaced. They weren't all bad, but there were enough of them that were bad that if I had only replaced the bad ones and not all of them, then it just would have looked sloppy. So that's the stuff that's been done so far. Usually when the textbook method of repinning a piano, restringing a piano, suggests that you essentially pre-wind the wires around the tuning pins and then drive the tuning pins into the block. I don't have the physical strength to actually drive them all the way in and get them to a consistent depth. So rather than killing myself and struggling with that, what I have done is driven the tuning pins in as far as I can and then turn them the rest of the way. And I find that while that adds to the work, it also ensures a very neat and consistent job. If you look, like the tension isn't even brought up on these yet, but the tuning pins are at a consistent level. It also ensures that I can get a feel for the torque of the pins before they have the strings on them, so that if there are any tuning pins that just don't feel quite right, they aren't quite tight enough for my liking, then I can just trade them out for a larger pin, which is these guys here. I've got a couple of tuning pins here that are waiting on the next larger size, which I had not ordered ahead of time. So there's the what's been done so far. Now, just to give a layman's idea of what has to be done for one string to be replaced. If you look, like here are the last string that I did, wire. And what it is the wire gets wrapped around one pin and it drives all the way up underneath this beam here. It has to kind of get hooked around the bridge pins and then up around the hitch pin and then back down, all the way down, gets threaded through the A-graft and then around the neighboring pin. So essentially one wire goes to two strings. So that's how you deal with that. This is the gauge I'm working with right now. I'm not good with numbers. I just do what needs to be done. This is 17.5 gauge. And if you watch, I don't know if I'll be able to do this. This wire is not stringy. It's very thick, tense piano wire. And it's, as you get to doing the long parts, it becomes really difficult to work with. So can't do this one-handed and I don't have anybody here filming for me. So, I'm going to pause it and be right back. We'll show you what happens when you have the correct length cut off and you have to work with the rest of it.